All right, thanks for staying with us. It's time to begin in earnest, and it starts with a look at the headlines of the papers this morning, this beautiful Friday. We're being joined by Kehinde-Nwandu, CEO, CKN News. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Chris. Nice to see you. All right, let's begin with the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Federal government paid huge ransom for Dapchi girls. United Nations is revealing this. And this takes us back to the days the Minister of Information was saying, no, there was no ransom paid. It was just... How does this come to you?
Not a surprise. Not a surprise. Across the globe, it's a global practice that government try as much as possible to find a way of paying ransom and to get their citizens released. Although states, countries like United States will tell you that they will never pay ransom and the rest of them.
They don't negotiate
They don't negotiate with it, but at the end of it all, if that is investigated, you can be always to see underlining transactions goes on.
But this UN report says this ransom, huge ransom paid by NGOs and all of that, including governments, is actually what is
yes, that's where I was going to, and I didn't expect the Minister of Information to get himself involved in all this and start denying, because it's even the initial denial that prompted the United Nations to come up with their findings and the rest of them. And that in itself speaks volume, because when you do that, when you pay ransom to terrorists, it fuels the soldiers and rest of the finances them for them to even engage in more. Yes, we are just giving oxygen and fuel for them to continue. And I don't think we should be doing that.
All right. Well, like you have said, even though governments do that across the world, but how to handle information,
that is the information
really
management
important.
that is
states owe FIRS, that's the Federal Inland Revenue Service, 41 billion naira tax, as the National Economic Council is coming up with that. And CBN floods market with 1.9 billion naira lower denomination.
Yes, good news. If you get, in fact, I can't remember when last I saw a clean note
of maybe 100 naira,
whichever
or
denomination.
50 naira.
The only places you see that is when you go to parties. I have to.
brand new. And you wonder where those notes
I don't know where they get them. And
you
know, you have to buy them at higher denomination,
which is a crime originally.
Which is a crime. If they say
but
they are
then again,
the market,
really, how sustainable is this? Yes, I mean, you flood the market with brand new notes, 200, 100 naira, or 50 naira for that matter. For as long as we're not able to bring out coins.
Yes.
I think Nigeria must be the only country that does not use
one of the only countries.
Exactly.
You travel abroad, travel abroad, and they even give you $1 coin. You'd be like, what am I going to do with
the prices are always 99 pence, $99, and you'll be giving that $1.
That's remaining cent.
In fact, when they're going to give you your change, they start from the lowest denomination of coins.
Well, you know, when we were growing up in those days, there used to be this coin. We started with those coins with the round opening.
The one with the hole inside.
With the hole. If you remember in those days. Then we moved to the
call it Toro.
I think we should go back
let's move to the next
moving on very quickly. New Telegraph. UN exposes Boko Haram, accuses NGOs of funding terrorists. Global body, FG, differ over ransom payment for Dapchi girls. And all right, federal government, governors endorse decentralization of police. That is a major headline. How do you decentralize the police when you have a highly centralized system? How is this expected to work?
Sincerely, I don't know how it's going to work. I believe that probably is still in terms of chain of command. And you know, the problem we've been having across the state is where the governors complain that I am not the chief security officer of my state. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm not the chief security officer of my state. The commissioner of police has to wait for the IG to give a directive before he can move, and the rest of them. Probably this is part of it. And I want to believe that it also has to do with the clamor for state police. State police, in which most of the governors and most Nigerians have been talking about.
Yeah, but can you have that without restructuring? Or is this restructuring?
This is part of the restructuring.
Is part of it?
It's part of it.
So
Maybe
might
they are
as
not
well say
deciding
we
to
have
take it
officially started the process.
Except that it's not coming in the way Nigerians expect it.
All right, we'll have to start somehow anyway. CBN banks lost 1.63 billion naira to e-fraud in 2017 alone. What else do we have here? Emir of Daura to Turban Kalu as Dambewan Hausa. I wish I could speak Hausa very well.
I wish to.
All right.
Okay, the Nation newspaper now. New police operations guidelines coming soon. The governor's IG on NEC reforms panel states owe 41 billion naira VAT. Others. And governors seek legal advice on EFCC's probe of security votes. Okay, and then we have Customs seizes 23 cartons of military boots at Lagos Port.
Again.
Here we go again.
This is becoming worrisome. Before sometimes it started with the rifles, remember? We had so many cartons of
containers
of this thing. Then from there we moved to military uniform that we have seen severally. Then
now it's boots.
Now it's boots. I wouldn't know what they want to do with it because the police, even presently, I know that there is a kind of relationship between the Abia State government and the Nigerian Army. For the production of
military
boots,
fatigues
and the rest of them. So those that are doing this, definitely it's for ulterior motives.
Obviously.
And since we are getting towards the 2019 election, some people want to certain sets of people to
have ulterior motives.
Yes, they have ulterior motives.
Okay. Protest at police headquarters over a reporter. Remember the Premium Times reporter?
Yes.
And the IFLS sues Oyo government over building and vote buying. INEC to reassign polling booths. Musa hails Moses after shock retirement. Okay, these are some of the headlines of the Nation newspaper.
All right, moving on to the Punch newspapers. The issue of INEC budget still very much on the front burner. 189 billion naira polls budget. National Assembly Joint Committee meeting deadlocked. But I find this other story very interesting, upper right hand of the Punch there. We were not elected to only pay salaries. Governors declare. Resign if you can't pay. Workers tell governors.
Yes, but I totally agree with them.
Yeah,
I totally agree with them.
I agree with that.
Yes, because I've always said it, every time the workers, state government workers, or even federal government workers hold the federal government and state government to ransom, what is the percentage of workers compared to the entire citizens of the state?
You know, what the Governors Forum is saying is we were not elected to pay only salaries. There's infrastructure to provide. We need to provide roads and all of that. But then again, you wonder, when they were going on their campaigns and all of that, what did they promise the people? And are you there to take from the till to take care of those things, or are you there to provide the enabling environment for businesses to thrive, you know, so that this recurrent expenditure of paying salaries and all of that
the problem has always been that most of them are not, they don't have that ingenuity to be able to discover,
to think outside of the
box. All they do is go to Abuja at the end of every month, send their Commissioner of Finance to go to Abuja and negotiate what is to be shared and the rest of them. What are they doing about internally generated revenues? That is where the key. That is where states like Lagos are thriving. None of them is doing that. So all they just do is, so whatever they get, they just spend it on paying salaries, and that is it. You know, by the time you take that of the teachers, take that of the local government,
and
workers,
pensioners.
And pensioners, then it's all gone.
That's all.
The roads, infrastructure, water, hospitals, and the rest of them just
if they really understand what governance is all about.
They don't.
Okay, insecurity. NEC begins moves to decentralize police operations. Protesters storm police headquarters over detained Premium Times reporter and Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, dies at 76.
Yes.
A true queen.
Yes, so queen.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that.
It was really sad when the story came up yesterday.
You won't forget her performance during the Obama inauguration.
Exactly.
That was just mind-blowing.
All right, the Daily Sun. Are you through with that?
Yes, there's this untold story of Nigerians who donated kidneys to loved ones. Okay. And
that's quite
material. That's a material one.
Daily Sun is the next paper now. Dapchi schoolgirls release. Federal government paid ransom. UN is revealing this, and no money was paid. I insist. That's Lai Mohammed is saying that. It's okay. It's not for us to argue this and that.
Exactly.
Everything boils down to the proper ways of communicating to
It's just
Nigerians.
information, that's all.
Even if it happens, the way you have to put it for
There's a way you
Nigerians
can
to
put
understand.
it, and
Exactly.
Nigerians will understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then on the front page, good night, Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul.
Yeah.
It's really a sad one. Carlo to be turbaned Dan Bewan Hausa in Katsina. Okay. And
Mike got it. You nailed it.
Oh.
Yes.
no way.
You need to learn that.
I think we all have to go for Hausa classes, eh?
Mike got that.
Governors raise issues on minimum wage and demand examination of income in last 14 years. The minimum wage issue is still on, and the government is saying very soon they'll be implementing new minimum wage.
Yes.
Ability to pay is the issue.
His ability to pay, even the 18,000 naira minimum wage, is it not what they're arguing about, and the rest of them? So by the time you increase it to about 40 to 50,000, I think that we should find a decentralized way of doing this. You can look at minimum wage within the ambit of the federal government. Then let the states now determine what they can be able to pay. You know, it is
No,
much
but,
easier.
but that's the issue. The point there is that there are some states that are paying above the minimum wage.
That is what
the idea there is, this is the lowest ebb you can go. If you want to go higher, fine.
Mike, let me tell you, it is much easier for someone that knows that at the end of the month, his 10,000 naira salary will be paid. Okay? Before 29, bagam, you get your alert. Now, it is unlikely that if you are promised 20,000 naira, and for 3, 4, 5 months you can't get that, it becomes a problem. So I think even in the private sector, organizations differs from organizations. Some say, oh, this is what I can pay you.
Yeah.
And that is it. If you're interested, stay. If you're not interested, please go. So that's what we should be able to do. So that is what I think. Because for a state like, you can't compare a state like Lagos and River State, okay, and probably which other state?
Maybe Kano?
Kano, you know, that can be able to handle Anambra. That is where I was talking of ingenuity. Because
but a state like Jigawa has never really owned salaries.
Exactly, these are the issues.
So doing right
even Gombe, from what we're hearing.
It's just unfortunate.
Okay. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, last paper is the Vanguard. FG paid huge ransom to free Dapchi girls. Lawyers, NUJ, Human Rights Commission fought police over refusal to release Premium Times journalist. Blackout looms as Gencos threaten to shut down plants.
Yes. Before the Genco, let's quickly look at the issue of the arrest of journalists. It's becoming worrisome, sincerely, and I think we need to be we as journalists should be talking about this. It's becoming worrisome. The rate at which security agencies just pick up journalists, just lock them up without any... one of us was just released yesterday. After staying in detention for 2 years.
It's really,
it's really sad.
And all of this is happening at a time when the acting president said
he's
talking
about
reform.
Exactly, reform and this thing. So, and you just because somebody, you're not supposed to detain more than, if you have anything against him, then charge him to court within 24 hours.
Exactly.
Then the Gencos, well, there has been running battle between the Gencos, federal government, and also the Simbic. At a point, we thought that it was Eldorado when these things were decentralized. But it's like even we are much better with NEPA.
Exactly.
Yes, and that is a fact.
Well,
You're sounding like the Israelites.
I want to go back.
We're better off in Egypt.
Because I want to shake the table.
This table we are shaking.
I'd rather go back to Egypt rather than remain in poverty in Israel. And that is the problem we're having.
All right, that's it. Okay, that's it.
All right, Chris, we must thank you for coming, and certainly we'll be keeping you for the next discussion.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.